Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel. My name is Rocky Ballesteros. Welcome to another episode of Master Study, which is a stream I like to do on a somewhat weekly basis of recreating awesome comic book art by artists who I totally admire and that I consider masters, hence the name. And I like to reproduce their work. I've done 6 master studies so far. Some of those artists include Mike Zeck, Michael Golden, Mobius, Barry Windsor Smith, Will Eisner, missing one, Jim Steranko, and I'm in the middle of, the penciling phase of a Frank Miller page from Daredevil in the 1980s. So this is part of his run on the Elektra saga. Really exciting page. We started it off last week. Started the penciling stage of it last week, and we're gonna wrap that up today. I think today is gonna be the last day on pencils. And then once I get the pencils locked down, I'm going to transfer it over to another page of Bristol and then start the inking process, which is always, as much as I love the penciling part, which is great, just kind of figuring out the layout and blocking in all the poses and the composition. The inking phase is one of my favorite parts, just because it's you're really wrestling with the medium, and I'm a big fan. If you know me and if you have come to this channel in my previous streams, I'm a big fan of the process and the original creation of comic book art. And I know there's a lot of incredible artists out there who do digital work these days, but I love the old school traditional process, pen, pencil on paper. And so to do that myself and to try and mimic what these masters have done have been so informative, have just helped me to level up my own game, and will eventually, push me and give me a lot more tools to produce my own work here on stream as well. So that's the goal. That's always been the goal. But these master studies have just taken on a life on their own. They've been really fun, and I know a lot of people like to watch live streams of people drawing on stream. I do that as well. I have quite a number of streams that I watch on my own with just people drawing. It's really relaxing, and it's just a fascinating process. It's like just creation in its purest form on YouTube. So that's what this stream is about, and I really wanted to wrap up the pencils on this Daredevil page from the Elektra saga. The exact issue, man, I should know this. The exact issue is, all right. So this is, oh, does it not have chapter breaks? Shoot. I'm horrible. I should have had this memorized. Anyway, this is the book it comes from. Let me get it in focus here. Elektra Saga, the classic by Frank Miller, inked by Klaus Janson. Beautiful, beautiful work. Here's the page that we're doing. Dang it. Let me turn off the blur for a second here. There we go. That's the page we're doing right here that we're reproducing. And yeah, this is the book. Came out in 1989. This compilation came out in 1989, but the original books were in the 1980 through 84, which, wow, that was a while ago. And it doesn't give me the I'll find it out for the next stream that I do. The exact book. Horrible. What kind of a host am I? But yeah, I'll find out the exact page or the exact issue that it comes from. Anyway, Elektra, one of the all-time amazing characters in the Daredevil world. Daredevil himself, I find that Frank Miller is, in my opinion, the best Daredevil artist, creator there was. So this rendition of Daredevil in the 80s with Frank Miller drawing it when he's still he's building up his repertoire as just being this incredible comic book storyteller, and then to include or to create Elektra in this world. It was just a fun ride, and I've had a great time just kind of rereading this story and remembering, the ins and outs of it and the excitement that came with it. So we voted on this page. One of the fun things we do on this stream is we vote, or the chat votes on which page we do. And I picked a few different pages from this Daredevil run, some in this one in Elektra Saga, one in a Daredevil and Punisher one shot, which was cool. Didn't get any votes. And then the third page was in Daredevil. The story run was called Marked for Death, which Frank Miller also drew. Great page from that. But I think a lot of people voted for this page just because Elektra was part of it. And I'm glad, because it's awesome. It's been awesome to work on. So anyway, thank you everybody who is coming in and joining on this. And if this is your first time here, please hit that like and subscribe. I'm always looking for new people to come and join the world of my stream here. And we're at 500. Last I checked, we're at 521 subscribers, which is awesome. We hit that 500 mark, which was a huge milestone for this page. And now we just have to get our watch hours up, which I think I can do a quick check here. So YouTube's a little behind on updating watch hours, but I'm about 340 watch hours till the next milestone. And then once we hit that milestone, we can get actual paid subscribers and monetize on this channel, or start that process at least. So that's really fun. That's kind of a cool goal to strive for, not just shooting out your content into the ether, but also kind of building a community that, we can grow together. So I'm really excited about that. I appreciate everybody so far who has helped me get to this point. A lot of the regulars or OG Mod Squad, I like to say, you guys are so awesome, especially this dude, Mark's Music Obsession. What is up? Good seeing you. We missed you last week. Mark shared in the chat before the stream started that he was traveling because of Easter. Oh yeah, happy belated Easter to everyone who celebrated it. Hope you guys had a good celebration. We did, my family did as well. Just a nice time to kind of remember the season and the purpose of it for us, our family. It's not about, it's about our faith. It's not about eggs and bunnies. Although, yeah, my kids are too old to do any kind of egg hunt or whatever. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun just kind of being with friends and family and celebrating it. And so yeah, I hope you had a good experience with that, Mark, traveling. Cranberry Langers is here. What's up, Cranberry? Cranberry said he's lurking.
This is a cranberry full of power.
For this stream, just because he's got to get back to work. Yeah, what are you doing, man? Like, don't get distracted by these YouTube streams. Gotta earn the moolah. There we go. Here was Mark saying he missed all the streams last week, was out of town Easter. Oh, I forgot to cue this in. This section I like to call Shoot the Fat, which was a phrase we came up with in chat a few streams ago. But I like to call it Shoot the Fat just because it's just kind of the intro before we get down to business on this stream. Just the time to catch up with the chat, because it is just as much a big part of me doing this as doing the actual work and putting the time and effort into it, is just getting to know people who swing by here and stream. So I'm always happy to do this. Otherwise I could just do it on my own, in my own little corner, and probably get more work done instead of engaging with the chat. But I really, really love the chat. It just gives me something to look forward to. It's like hanging out with friends and just talking about stuff that we love, like comics. Did I miss anybody? Yes, Mark's Music Session says memberships. Yes, hopefully soon. Yeah, we're moving there. We're moving towards it, Mark. We'll get there slowly but surely. But as I keep checking every day, keeps crawling up. Watch hours crawl up, memberships crawl up. So that's a good thing. We want to trend in the positive as opposed to the stock market that trends in the negative, and then the positive and then the negative. So it's good. It's all good. Cranberry Lantern says, have a good stream. Miss you guys. Yeah, it'll be good. All right. Catch it on the replay, Cranberry, hopefully. But let's take a look at where we're at so far. So this was the page. Mark, I think you missed this, so it's going to be a good recap for you. This was the page blown up to size. And then this is where we are so far. So I did a little bit. We blocked the first stream on pencils. We blocked a good amount of this already in, which was like laying in the rough shapes and obviously blocking in the panels. But I did a little bit of work in between that last stream and now, where I tightened up some things. But as you can see, there's quite a bit still to finish up. But I think we can do it all in this stream. It's like all these shards of glass, a lot of the interior details. I went pretty tight on her face already off stream because I just wanted to get it right, like totally focus and get it right. This is a classic Frank Miller face from the 80s. It's like not quite a glam shot, but all of his female characters, and he would do this face many a times. Feels like he would like reference some like photos maybe, but also had his own stylistic. Like I don't know. It could be me, but I don't feel like Frank was just pulling these out of the air. I feel like he was looking at some reference, because a lot of his female characters, when he would do these close-ups, would have a lot of personality in them, and they wouldn't be just like it didn't look like a stock character that somebody always just drew and just cranked out. Like some people, when they draw male characters or female characters and they have such a distinct style, they'll just kind of crank it out and they all kind of look the same. But I feel like Frank Miller, especially when he focused on these close-ups, would try and capture some sort of like unique characteristic or like something about their face that would make them stand out. And he did it a lot on Elektra. So I just had to, when I was working on it, I really wanted to try and kind of nail that down. And then we got these little guys here, this like multi-poses of Daredevil flying through the air, which we kind of have blocked out here, but we have a little bit of tightening up to do. This panel, I'm just going to tighten up the stairs a little bit. It's almost there with that panel. And then a few things with the lettering and obviously the window and the shards of glass. There's a lot to do there. So that's where we're at right now, which is pretty cool. Super exciting. Just love how dynamic this Daredevil pose is. And I didn't notice it until I started doing the pencils, but I didn't notice that these were his billy clubs here, like attached to his thigh. I thought they were I just kind of glossed over when I was looking at it of just lines or like muscle lines. But then as I was drawing, I'm like, oh no, those are his billy clubs. So right there. Anyway, yeah, this is going to be good. So we will, excuse me. We will wrap this up today. And then the other thing I wanted to mention before I got started was I got a new tool, a new pencil tool, which is pretty cool. I've seen a lot of people use these. I remember these when I was a kid. My dad would bring these home from work. And these are like drafting pencils. If you can see the label there, Staedtler Mars Technico drafting pencils. And they're kind of cool because, so prior to this, I've been using the Color-Ace pencils, right? Which is just like a standard pencil with a colored lead. Different colors. Here's purple, blue, red. They come in a million different colors. And it's pretty standard when you're doing rough pencils or in the animation industry, which was, a big part of my career. We would use these to do like rough animation first, and then you would tighten it up using regular lead. But I know a lot of people use these. A lot of draftsmen, illustrators use this kind of pencil, and the difference is it's a little bit like a mixture between a regular wood pencil and a mechanical pencil. Like here's a mechanical pencil, right? And you got the like thin lead that you gotta fill in, and I use this sometimes, but the kind of you can't really get nice, soft, thicker gestural lines with this. These pencils are more for like technical pencil drawing, right? Because the lead is so thin. 0.5, 0.7, even 0.9 is probably the biggest you can get size mechanical pencil lead. But these pencils are awesome because they also have a piece of lead, but they're a lot thicker. And, you just insert it here in the pencil holder. And then the way that, because they're thicker, they also get blunt like a regular pencil does. And so you have to sharpen it. And they come with these cool little sharpeners, or you buy these cool little sharpeners where you stick the pencil in here. So there's 2 holes at the top. I kind of forgot how to use these pencils because I haven't used one in a long time. But there's 2 holes at the top that give you, I don't know if you can see it. Oh, there you go. They give you 2 different kinds of tips. So this is more of a thicker tip here, and this is more of a precise, thinner tip. And the way that you use it is you extend this piece of lead until you hit the bottom or the resistance here. And then you kind of clamp down until it's flush with that. Then you put it in this larger hole here and you spin it. And there's blades inside here that sharpen the lead. And then it sharpens it to the certain point that you need, the one that you picked, like either the more precise one or the blunt or the thicker one here. So it's kind of cool. It gives you, you don't have to deal with like a electric pencil sharpener. And then this little, if you're wondering, this little white dot here is just to kind of wipe off or like clean off the dust at the tip after you're done sharpening. And then you can empty this sharpener when you're done. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of this cool thing. But I started using this because I was tired of my pencils getting really short and nubby and then always having to like go to a pencil sharpener, electric pencil sharpener. I don't walk around. Like if I'm drawing, not at home, but if I'm drawing somewhere else, like at the zoo or like at the library or anywhere, I don't have access to an electric pencil sharpener. Those like manual pencil sharpeners are the worst. I've never had good results with those. There's always horrible. So you can, this is really portable. You can walk around with this and carry this around. And then the cool thing is you can, so this came with a regular piece of lead, but you can also you can also buy colored leads. So I just am trying out the blue lead to kind of be close to the Color-Ace blue that I use. I noticed it came in like reds, oranges, I think even yellows and greens, which I'll try out in the future. But I wanted to try the blue first. And then the case that the lead comes in, I always remember this because for me as a kid, I remember pretending that these were spaceships. I don't know why. But when my dad would bring these home, I always thought these were the coolest thing. But the way that it opens is it's kind of like it has this little like garage door opening here. And then here's all the LEDs that you buy. So they have not changed this design ever. This is how I remember it as a kid. So yeah, the Staedtler Mars Lumicron pencil. It's or Technico pencil. It's a German brand, if I'm not mistaken. And yes, as I was tightening this up after the first stream, and I was working on this before this stream, all the stuff that I had done in between streams, I used this pencil because it just came. So I was like, oh, cool, I get to try out this new pencil. And it's been great. The quality of the lead, this blue lead at least, has been really nice and soft. A lot softer than I was expecting. Oftentimes and that's why I like the Color-Ace pencils, because they have a nice softness to it, the colored leads. oftentimes when you work with drafting pencils, any kind of drafting pencils, it depends on the softness of the lead that you buy. So there's like HB, 2B, 3B, 4B, 6B, all that kind of stuff. But most of the time, drafting pencils, because they were designed for architects, their lead tends to be really hard so that you can get a fine line and you're not like, there's not so much deviation in that. So I was a little nervous because this was a design, long story short, because this was designed for that kind of drafting, technical drawing. I felt like, I wonder if they ever would make a lead that was soft enough to work for comic illustration, and especially this colored lead. And sure enough, it's great. It's a really great softness. So highly recommend if you want to try this out. And anything was like holding you back, which was for me a little bit. I was like, I won't get to draw with my Color Ace blue pencil or whatever. Well, sure enough, the blue colored lead is great. It feels just as soft as the Color Ace pencils. So I'm going to continue using this. It's a great tool and more portable. More like, I find that these, because it's soft, it tends to blunt a little faster. I have to sharpen it quite a bit. This one is a less of a hassle to sharpen because of the little portable sharpener. So yeah, it's great. I'm super excited, and I will probably buy more different color leads to appease my mood. I know Mark appreciates it. He always likes the different colored leads when I've penciled past pages. So there won't be any different color lead here, Mark. It's going to be all blue because that's all I got with this. But yeah, in the future, I think I'll try the red one next, maybe the green, all fun colors to draw with. So yeah, there we are. Okay, I saw some people pop in here. So we're going to catch up, and then we are going to start drawing. Mark's Music Obsession says it's a great page, even though I voted for the third one. Yes, I like the third one a lot, too, and I secretly was hoping that one would win. But, man, tell me that ain't a great face. Tell me that won't be amazing to ink. I'm excited. Very excited. John. How do you do, John?
He goes, what's your name? He goes, John.
Good to see you, Mark's Music Obsession. John says, Happy Easter. Hello to Cranberry Langers. Hey, John, happy Easter to you. Hope it was a good one. Yes. John says he DM'd Emo. Will be here soon, hopefully. Herding cats. That's what you are. Can't DMC. Yeah, Comrade Sammy. That's right. Where is she? She's usually popping in. She's coming. The chat ninja will fly out of the shadows. Art and Times of Jay Ryan.
It's actually a really good sculpt.
Jay Ryan saying SIG pencils. Gotta take it there already, Jay. Is that how it goes? On a Tuesday? I gotta take it there? All right. How are you doing? Whoa. John says, why did your dad have drafting pencils? Was he an engineer? He was. Part of his career, he was an architect, and part he was an engineer. So good guess, he was. And my dad had, he wasn't a fine artist. Like, he wouldn't draw like this, but like super technical stuff, he could really draw. And my dad has great handwriting too, because of learning that as an engineer, I guess. They all have this kind of, maybe it was an architect thing, but they all have this like really cool, like all caps letters handwriting. So he would come home with all these amazing pencils and tools, and I would have no idea what they were for. Most of the times they were for like drafting stuff. Like he has, I have one of these rulers. This is for sure an architecture thing. One of these rulers. Have you guys seen these? These are so cool. Like it's like an alien ruler. I would call it an alien ruler because it was like triangle. But here's the standard, the standard measurements, inches. But then they would have all these wild, bizarre, and I never understood why. But I know in drafting, there's all these particular measurements and calculations and blah blah blah. But I just liked it because of the shape of it. So yeah, but my dad would bring home so many various different pencils and tools, and I would just like try and draw with them. And this was one of those when I was a kid. I remember that this pencil, and just it was like Alien again, with this weird alien sharpener. I would bring it to school and all the kids would be like, "What is that?" I'm like, "Where did you get that?" I like the color ace because they are less waxy than the typical red and blue leads for mechanical pencils. Yeah, we'll see. I've found that this lead here has been great. It feels very similar to the color ace. And just the sharpening aspect of the color ace, and again, it really kind of stuck with me whenever I would go travel or do this outside of my studio. Once my pencil would get like flat, I'm like, now it's like flat, and then I would like stop drawing if I didn't have I hate those hand sharpeners for regular pencils. They just never work for me. They're always either too short, or they always break my lead. I could be like a Boy Scout and like sharpen it with like a knife. I could do it that way, but it just takes too much time. So I'm very excited that I can now carry this with me, carry that tiny sharpener with me, and continue drawing in pencil. Block letters, yes. Avoids mistakes and bad handwriters. Block letters. Avoids mistakes and bad handwriters. I'm not following that, John. But okay. All right, let's see. Where am I going here? Okay, let's tighten up old Daredevil here. Yeah, see, okay. So yeah, there's like 1,000 different shards of glass, which we will have to account for here. The other cool thing, the other reason why I don't normally stream on a Tuesday, it's still morning for me here, but I don't usually stream on a Tuesday morning. But the other reason I'm doing it is because I'm going to a baseball game tonight, which is exciting. It'll be my first baseball game of the season. Go Giants. Yeah, I'm really excited about that. There's been a lot of good sports lately. I was debating whether or not I should stream last night, but then there's a lot of good basketball going on right now, so I didn't get to do it. I opted not to. Oh, here we go. Oh wait, John says this is what the engineers use block letters to write. Oh, got you. Yeah, they do, but my dad avoids mistakes and bad. There you go. Yes, now I understand. Yes. And my dad, I always loved my dad's. Even to this day, I love his handwriting. He's that training was just ingrained in him, and it just has this like precise, clear feel to it. I love it. Comrade Sammy. She's busy. Comrade Sammy said last week that she was going to be busier with some stuff, with some good things. So that's probably what's going on. But you're here now, Comrade Sammy. Hopefully you can be busy and watch at the same time. That would be good. That would be a good combo. I was watching some good videos, or catching up on some videos. I always have, like, whenever I run across a YouTube video, I use that, like, save to watch for later a lot, because for whatever reason, I can't watch a certain show or something. And so I was trying to catch up on some of that the other day. But there was one video I watched recently, which was an interview with Jim Lee and Todd McFarlane. A recent interview with the two of them talking about just their careers, but ultimately what led them to start Image Comics and the story of how that went. It was so cool. It was just really fun. Like, you can tell they both have a mutual admiration for each other. They've been through a lot. They both were like superstars and got to superstardom in their respective careers in their own way, kind of in different ways. But just to hear the story of how they were like, Todd McFarlane was like, oh yeah, I'm starting this company with Rob Liefeld and Eric Larson and Jim Valentino. And Jim was like, can I come? And Todd McFarlane was like, oh my gosh. Like, that was the linchpin for him. That was like the moment for him, which I had never heard before. Because his reasoning was like, Jim was like the golden child of Marvel at that time, and him and Rob were more of like the rebels, and they didn't feel like people would take them that seriously. But if Jim, the golden child, would come with them, that would like send shockwaves, and it did in the industry. John says, Comrade Sammy, you're not allowed to be busy. Rocky's talking sports ball again. I like to. I try and keep it even, you know. It's so funny. If you guys knew me when I was younger, I didn't really care for sports that much at all. It was only until my son got of a certain age that he was really into sports that made me like pique my interest. And then it just so happens that being here in the Bay Area, we're fortunate enough to have exposure to some fun teams, some great teams. And the baseball team here, the Giants, is one of those teams. When I started getting into sports and my son started getting into sports was at the time that they were winning. They won 3 championships, like every other year. So 2000, I want to say 2010, 12, and 14, they won the World Series. So it was just, you know, the coolest thing to watch, and they had great personalities. I always liken sports teams, and the draw of sports teams is the same thing that draws me to like comic books or a good movie, is the stories and the characters, the players in the, they all have their own story, and you kind of follow those stories. They're either like the stories of how they become players, you know, their backstory, or what kind of player they are and how they match up against competing players. And they each have their own, you know, if you want to look at it this way, they each have their own superpower abilities. So yeah, it's fun. It's really fun. And then of course all the drama of the actual game. Comrade 70 says, don't worry, I won't be busy much longer. Alan Lau.
Hey kid,
What?
I'm a computer.
Frank Miller. Alan Lau says, Alan Lau loves Frank Miller too. How are you doing, Alan Lau? How are you doing? I had mentioned last stream that you were the instigator, or not instigator, but the guy that pushed me over the edge of buying that sketch cover, or blank sketch cover of Transformers. So last stream I shared that it was my first time buying a sketch cover book, and it was a Transformers 19, I think. And I wasn't going to buy the book itself, but I bought it because I decided to buy a sketch cover version of it. So for those of you who don't know, it's like a blank comic cover. I comic with a blank cover. Where is it? Oops. Ah. Looks like that. So I bought this one with Alan Lau, and the future hope is I will be similar to how I'm doing Master Study. I will do like a drawing on here, a drawing of Transformers on this book, and tie it into somehow, some way, tie it into like subscribers or something for this channel in the future. So it's not coming up super soon, but it is in the works of like figuring out how to do like a sketch cover or commission cover and sell it online or sell it to subscribers or something. That's part of the plan. I think it'll be really fun. I've seen a lot of people do sketch covers on stream, and then, you know, they become little collector's items because they're unique, original art. And it ties in well to a lot of the things that I love and like to share on this channel, which is comic books. You know, Transformers is a current comic book that I'm enjoying and picking up and reading, and you guys see that on my stream on my Wednesday comics, and then also creating original comic art. So it's a nice little combo of both. But Alan Lau, he was the dude. He was like, do it. Sometimes you just need that person to say like, hey, just do it. What could go wrong? There's some sort of noise going out. It's always been this construction recently going on, and I have no idea what's going on. One of my neighbors is doing something. I think he subscribed to my channel, and then when he sees I'm streaming, he starts his construction work. I think that's how it works. Makes sense. Cherish Psalms. Wow. What's up, Cherish Psalms? Hello. Okay, I'm by him in class.
Little Pookie?
What's wrong, little Pookie? Cherish Psalms. Good seeing you and your fun little profile picture. I love that profile picture. But you're in class. That's okay. Just keep us in one ear. I won't tell. Hopefully the class you're in is going to be way more engaging. Or not. And if it's not, then just continue to listen to us in one ear. Okay, let's see. Boop, boop, doo. This is great. Yeah, this is such a cool arm extended. Just like, I don't know. It's not your classic. It's not a typical diving out the window pose, but it's really dynamic and yeah. I know as an artist, like, just getting inspiration, it's easy to fall back on like what comes easy. So it's like I have maybe, when I'm drawing my own stuff, like comic stuff, I have maybe 5 poses that are like standard Rocky drawing a character in an action pose, depending on what they're doing. And it's so easy to always fall back on that. Oh, he's jumping through a window. Okay, well, his arms are going to be like this. His head, his expression's going to be like this. I'm in the middle of that right now, drawing something. Not this, but something else. So it's easy to fall back on those poses, but I always admire comic book artists who come up with unique poses that aren't just your standard fare. Like, for example, the artists I was just talking about, Jim Lee, Todd McFarlane, those guys are incredible. Some of my favorite comic book artists of all time. But they did like fall back on some classic poses that they always did, and people started aping them, and their poses look like McFarlane's poses or those poses look like Jim Lee's poses, and you just see them over and over and over again. It just became like the language of comics at the time. But you don't often see a pose like this, and that's what makes it so cool and so fun. And then he's still thinking about like dynamic anatomy. He's thinking about, you know, the flow of the page, like how this hand kind of like drives your eye over here. It's awesome. It's a lot of impact with this. But this is not a pose I would think of like, oh yeah, that's in my mind's eye as I'm drawing a character jumping through a window. K-pop junkies here. K-pop. How are you doing, K-pop? She's been streaming again. She's on a streaming tear. I can't even keep up with how many streams you do, K-pop. But I did see one that you did recently, maybe 3 days ago, 2 days ago. I can't even keep up with it. So much good stuff. K-pop is so good at curating and interviewing independent comic book artists, like of all walks of life. Some independents that are really well known and some independents that aren't, and she's just giving them a platform to share about their work. So I always appreciate when I can catch her stream, because there's always some good stuff there. Good to see you, K-pop. Comrade Sammy's got to go. All right, see you later, Comrade Sammy. Are you channeling your inner Klaus Janson? Not yet. I'm not inking yet, dude. That'll come. Klaus will come. And Klaus Janson he himself was a penciler. He did a lot of penciling work as well. But for me, he's more well known for his inking, especially over Frank Miller, just because he did some of the huge Frank Miller jobs. Dark Knight Returns, Daredevil stuff. So, and Klaus is still alive, still working, still doing stuff. But yeah, I wouldn't even know. There's some inkers that you can look at, and they have a certain inking style. Like Scott Williams is somebody I can think of that has an inking style. Terry Austin, Carl Story, those guys. Klaus Janson has an inking style, but I don't even, until I start inking, I don't even know how to describe his style. I know he uses, I think he uses a combo of nibs and brush inking. I'll have to go watch. I know there's videos of him inking, so I'll have to go watch and see. I always love to see the tools that professionals use and how that might affect their style. Or if it's just what they're comfortable with. Hi, everyone. Bye, everyone. You guys are like passing ships in the night. Hello, bye, hi. Of a certain age, don't they say that about old people? Okay. So I had something horrible happen to me. At my church this weekend. I was there for Easter. We were eating. They had like a brunch after service, and one of my good friends who she works there at the church, and she said, "Oh, I need some people to help like carry these like trays of food downstairs to our fellowship hall. So can I get like 4 or 5 people to help?" And so just by default, I like stood up, stood up to like go help. Other people stood up, and she said, "Oh no, Rocky, it's okay. I got the young people. The young people are gonna do it." And I looked at her and I was like, "Wait, am I not in that category anymore?" And I don't think she meant any. I mean, I knew what she meant, but it was just a shocker to me because usually I would be included in the category of the young people helping out and not burdening the elderly to carry anything. So I was joking with her the whole day because I was like, dang, that's the first time I've been categorized as an old person when it comes to like helping carry things. But and everybody's like, "Oh, it's great. You don't have to do it anymore. Like it's great. Let the young able-bodied people." And I'm like, "Am I not able-bodied? People don't see me as able-bodied anymore." Oh, so sad. So sad. This coming from the guy who like tweaked out his back picking up his stupid cat. So I guess that's where we are now, guys. I guess that's where we are. It's no longer about building up strength. It's about not falling apart too fast. So sad. So yeah, maybe I'm talking about myself, John. I'll be curious to see how you approach a sketch cover. Me too. I'm sure it's going to be a very, very challenging and difficult thing. What are your top 3 tips, Jay Ryan? I know you've done many a sketch cover. Many a sketch cover. So what are your top 3 tips? I would love to know. I got to ask you, got to ask Shelby, other people that I know that do sketch covers. I know you were saying last stream it's like all each comic, like not all covers or sketch covers are created equal. So probably different kinds of paper depending on what book it is. So that'll affect my drawing. What I've seen you work with like different kind of pens. Like I don't think I've seen anybody. Have I seen anybody do a sketch cover with a brush? I mean, you could, but I do see people use technical pens the most on sketch covers. And I'm assuming that there's a reason, like why, faster, easier. So yeah, give me your tips, Jay Ryan. I need to know before I screw up this first one. But it'll be good. That'll be like the first one. Like that'll be an important marker to have the first sketch cover that Rocky's ever done. Agreed. I want to see that sketch cover come to life. Yeah, no pressure. It's only like Transformers. Holy moly. I think you should draw the sketch cover. Alan Lau's an awesome artist, and he loves Transformers has always loved Transformers more than I do. And he can draw the robots. You should do the sketch cover. I'm going to hire Alan Lau to do the sketch cover, and then I'll sign it. Yeah. Drawing robots, it's like, I know they're all geometric shapes, but still, it's gonna be interesting to see. One thing, just as I'm penciling this, I love on this whole page, but in particular in this figure, I love the thick and thin that Klaus Janson and Miller are using on here. It's beautiful, beautiful stuff. Like where it's really thick, and like huge strokes here, like blocky, flat, chunky black shadows here. And he's got some finer lines here in the feathering. It's really nice. I love this thick line that he put on the head, which I'm penciling right now. It's good stuff. Terry Austin is one of the best, especially on Burn X-Men. Absolutely. Terry Austin on Burn and Arthur Adams is one of my favorite inker combos. He just had this amazing like sense of detail, like really appealing detail too. Is really clean. Yeah, I love Terry Austin's work. I don't know what's going on with I don't know if he's still working in comics, if he's still alive. I have no idea. I don't think I've seen Terry Austin's name on comics, on any like recent comics. But he from my childhood is one of the premier inkers. And you can always tell when he was inking somebody. It's like, oh, there's Terry Austin. Kevin Nolan is another inker that I love, and he's a phenomenal like penciler artist himself. But when he would ink other people, some people hated it because his inking was so heavy-handed. Like you knew he would redraw stuff because he himself was a great artist, and he would redraw faces and like figures and anatomy. He would redraw it all if he didn't like it. And some people took offense to that, I've heard. Some editors hated that because he would change it so much, but he had such a distinct ink style. And as an inker, oh my gosh, he had such a great, great artistry to his inks. I have the Kevin Nolan Marvel Heroes Artist Edition. Let me pull that out. Hold on, give me 1 second. It's worth looking at just to see his inks. Man, oh man. Yeah, if I had a dream inkers that I would want to be inked, like would love to see myself inked by, Kevin Nolan would be one of them. Kevin Nolan, Carl Story. I love Carl Story. His stuff is so clean, and he's got such a beautiful brushwork. John Beatty. A lot of the master studies have ironically, or not ironically, but coincidentally, have been inked by John Beatty. I didn't know that until I started the master studies, but the Mike Zeck master study that I did, and you guys can watch these all on my playlists. The Mike Zeck master study was inked by John Beatty. The Michael Golden master study was inked by John Beatty. Am I missing one? I thought there was one more that was inked by John Beatty. I think that was it. But yeah, he's great. Oh, I know. He was inking on this Kelly Jones Batman work. This was some great stuff, and he was the inker on that too. Damn, Rocky got a case of the olds. Yeah, I did. So bad. So insulting. For your Transformers cover, you should draw Skywarp, as he has cloaking. Nice. That's like drawing a polar bear in the snow. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know if I'll draw with that Transformers thing, and I haven't read the issue 19 that it's a sketch cover for. So I don't know if I should. I would assume I should draw a character from that story, whatever that story is in 19, or I could just do a classic character like Optimus or Soundwave or Megatron. That could be fun. Or you could go the route of an obscure character too. There's so many shards of glass here. I haven't even gotten close to tracking all these pieces of glass. Oh, you said it. Do a rough thumbnail sketch beforehand to see how you want to place the image. Yep. Use a color erase pencil to rough it out on the cover, then ink it with your favorite pens. Easy. I've used paint markers on covers, Copics, etc., but I've had Copics oil up on the page because of paper quality and had to abandon my plan in real time. Yeah, I wonder... I don't know if I'll do color, at least on this first sketch cover. I don't know if I would do color. I think I would just do a black and white ink image. I've actually never really played around with Copic markers. My jam back in the old days were my Prismacolor markers, and I would use those a lot for drawing or coloring stuff. But I never used Copic markers, and I know those are huge. Like, a lot of people use those for comic book stuff. And they use them really well, too, like blending, and I don't know how different they are from Prismacolor, or if they're pretty much the same. You've got to try using Letraset and screen tones. Mighty Geek Studios, what's up, Mighty Geek? Oh my goodness, that would be hard. Are you talking about for a sketch cover or for like a master study in general? Yeah, that would be hard. That's a whole different skill. I almost kind of would chicken out on that and just do that digitally, like screen tones digitally. But to like cut, I don't know if you guys know, screen tones, at least back in the old day, were like, it's like a sticker sheet of like a dot pattern or some sort of tone pattern. And they used this in manga a lot, where they would block out the areas where they would use the tone, and then they would lay the sticker sheet on top, and then you would have to cut it out with an X-Acto knife, and then you peel it off, and you peel off what you don't want to be covered in the tone. But it's a beautiful effect, and it was those tones, those screen tones were made so that they print properly in the printing process. But now that we have computers and you can do that screen tone stuff digitally, it's like it saves you all the process of like hand cutting it. But that could be kind of fun to try out. Maybe in the future we'll think about it. I know you can still buy that stuff. I've seen it in art stores. But it just seems like it's a whole involved process that I don't even know how to do. But it could be cool. There's an artist I follow on YouTube. His name's Tyrell Cannon. I don't know him that well or his work that well, but I've watched some of his streams, and he uses screen tone when he does some drawings or commission drawings. I've seen him use screen tone before. So that might be kind of cool to try. How are you doing, Mighty Geek? What am I looking at? Oh, geez, I was looking at the wrong. I was looking at the wrong leg. I'm like, why does that leg look like it's rotated? Because I was looking at the right leg and not the left. Carla Cohen does oil painting on covers. How the hell that dries, I have no idea. Oil painting on... All right, I'm going to have to... Carla Cohen. That's going to go in my notes because I need to see what the heck that means. Like for comics? K-pop? That's nutty. Carla Cohen painted covers. Oh, shoot. Okay. I'll save that note for later because I want to see what that looks like. Oil painted sketch covers? That sounds like a disaster. Like, yeah, how does that drive? She must add a hardener or coating to it. Maybe. You'll have to do a master study on screen tones, halftones, duotones, all the tones. Oh my gosh. That would be cool. I find that the Japanese are the best at screen tones. And then any American artist that I saw try and do it almost were like just trying to match or mimic what the Japanese did. I find they did it like masterfully with their screen tones. Now, granted, they probably had like a bunch of assistants doing all that stuff and not just one artist. Because it's just a lot of work. It's a lot of manual labor. In the old days, the way that I used to do it. So... And it's kind of cool, like the different kinds of patterns that you can get. There are all sorts of different patterns. It's not just one set of dots. All right. Doop. And... doop. Sound effects while you're drawing something like a broken glass or gun shooting. It's very crucial to the drawing process to do verbal sound effects while you're drawing them. It's more authentic. Pew 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 pew. Boop. Let's see. Now I'm wondering what type of paper that sketch cover is. It's pretty good. It feels pretty good for... it's like a matte paper. The thickness is really similar to... if you guys can see that and hear that. It's very similar to the Bristol I'm drawing now, and it's not glossy. So I feel like it's going to be close to this Strathmore board that I'm drawing this master study on, which gives me hope that things won't bleed too much or blow up too much or whatever. So Hey, Zaid Comics. What's up, Phil? Good seeing ya. What's new? Hey, Phil. Japanese are quite good at technical things like the Taiwanese, too. Yeah, I mean, I've seen like some, like screen tone work I've seen where they will like overlap screen tones, too. And that overlap created a certain effect. Yeah, they do all sorts of cool stuff with screen tones. They're really the masters of that. Not just on in the backgrounds, but like on the characters too. I'm just counting the joints on these fingers. I'm like, how many joints? I love the inking on this page. I think Klaus Janson did a great job. Some beautiful, beautiful marks. All right, cool. Hard Times J. Ryan says, I'm like a ninja when I'm working. Like you're quiet, or you work fast, or like there's so many things. That's a loaded statement. You're like a ninja. There's one movie I've been meaning to watch. Speaking of ninjas, there's one movie that I've been meaning to watch. I have not watched since I was a kid, which was Revenge of the Ninja. Oh, I love that movie. I'm curious to see how it holds up. But that sparked my love for ninjas in the in the 80s. Sho Kosugi, I believe, was the star of that movie. He was incredible. It was really violent. I don't know how I got a hold of that, but it was so good. Got a poster of Sho Kosugi on my wall. Wow, look at this like broken foreshortened finger here. Oh, I think Jay Ryan, you're talking working in silence instead of making sound effects like I do. Oh, I got you. I think that's what you're referring to. Yeah, I think always when it comes to like some sort of sound effect happening in the page, I always, whether I'm streaming or not, I find myself making that noise. Muscles. It's great. They're like foreshortened and like the groupings of the muscles are really fun. on this body. I move and work in silence. Okay, maybe put a few blank sheets behind the sketch cover to prevent excessive ink bleeding. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna bleed. I honestly don't, but I will. I'm just nervous about it just being a horrible drawing. But it's cool because it's also like I could do a double pager. I could do it if I'm feeling ambitious. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, I was always put a backing board. Okay, got it. Val Kunstgeist, looking great so far. Thanks, Val. Good to see you again. Welcome back. Yeah, it's coming along quite nicely. I'm just trying to tighten up the pencils that are here. I'm pretty sure I can finish this off, this whole page, the penciling part of this page, by today on this stream. Just be a matter if I can track all these shards of glass. Easier said than done. There's a lot. The fun thing too with these master studies is once I finish the pencils, what I'll do is I'll scan them in and then print out a non-photo blue lighter version of the pencils on a clean piece of Bristol, and then I'll ink on that. So at the end of the day, on top of having the finished ink version of the page, I also have the pencils, which I know a lot of people just ink directly on their original pencils, but like I don't have the guts to do that. I'm too paranoid I'm gonna mess it up and then screw up this like beautifully penciled page. So I always like to keep, and then just for the sake of having a copy of the penciled page at the end of the day too. That I've never understood why people ink over their pencils, directly over their pencils. I know why, but I just don't. I couldn't do it. I gotta keep that backup in my pocket, just in case something bad happens. So the kind of cool thing with this, I had mentioned at the top of the stream, there's 2 different points that it guides you if you want like more of a shorter point or a thinner point here. And the difference is how deep the lead will go into the sharpener. So that's what it's measuring out when you put the lead in there. See how much more pointy that tip is there. Wow, that's really pointy. I think it's going to snap. We'll see. I want to get these thin lines here. Whoop, there it goes. Just broke. Alrighty, so let me just make sure I have shards of glass. Aha, I'm missing this guy here. Yep, not gonna do that sharp point anymore. Just breaks easily. Breaks too easily. I put too much pressure. Cool thing to notice on these shards of glass too is Jansen's inking it with there's like weight behind the shards of glass too. Like they're not just the same line weight around the whole glass. They have like a thick and thin to them too, so that gives them a lot more weight and makes them feel solid. It's great. Let's see. Doop. Even inked a little bit of this, let a little bit of this daredevil finger show behind this glass so you can feel like it's glass. That's so cool. Such a cool touch. I've sent this before too on streams. I highly, highly, highly recommend when you're looking at your artwork, and in this particular case, I'm trying to match it to this original page. But just when you're looking at your artwork in general, highly recommend rotating the page and looking at it from a different angle. Like as I'm looking at this now sideways, I'm like, oh, that looks different, or that's off, or that's misplaced. So it just resets your eye and gives you a different perspective on the artwork, especially if you're just used to seeing it in one direction the whole time. And you'll just notice different things that are either wrong or off-placed or you missed when you are looking at your artwork from different angles. Killing it. Sho Kasugi. Oh, that's what you mean when you're when you're like a ninja, you're always killing it. Nice. Yeah, Jay Ryan knows what's up. Sho Kasugi. I miss the bullet ninja. The bullet ninja. Classic. Sound effects are the best part, Rocky. It's the ASMR part. Bullet Ninja Hagelman. What is up? Is this the Bullet Ninja that you're missing? What's up, Bullet Ninja Hagelman? Check out. We got a ninja, a competing ninja. Comrade Sammy left the chat. She is our resident ninja on my streams. Resident chat ninja. And now we have another ninja. What the heck? How are you doing, Bullet Ninja Hagelman? Welcome to the stream. Good to have you here. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. I'd love to have another ninja as part of my streams. There he is, Bullet Ninja. I guess we've never met. Incredible. Hello, Bullet Hagelman. Everybody knows the Bullet Ninjas. Nice. I think it's because I mentioned Sho Kasugi that the Bullet Ninja appeared. All right. Did I get all... Excuse me. Did I get all the glass bits? The top here. Here, here, here. Okay. Oh, it's another shard here. Near old Daredevil's bum. This. Oh, there's another piece of glass here. How deep is your lead? Is that a trick question? It's a trick question. Rocky's playing Glass Shard Tracker. I know. For sure, that was a 70s disco hit. I would not be surprised. Ninja vanished. Bullet Ninja Hangleman is gone. Poof. That's the trouble with ninjas. You can't get it just when you think you get to know a ninja. They disappear on you. It's hard to be in relationship with ninjas too. They show up when they're least expected, and then they'll gut you like a fish when you're sleeping. That's tough. But good seeing the ninja in the chat. A ninja in the chat. We like it. Cherish Psalms is back. What's up, Cherish Psalms? Is your class done? I didn't get to reply to your DM, but happy resurrection. Ah, yes. Happy Resurrection Day, everybody. Cherish Psalm says you do a great job of replicating a page exactly, Rocky. I wouldn't say exactly, but I try to keep it as close as possible without getting obsessive about it. Or too obsessive about it. It is kind of obsessive. But that's part of the fun, is to try and get as close as possible. But trying not to like get hung up on that as well, because yeah, there's no way I'll be able to get it exactly like these guys. Especially when you have all these kind of details like shards of glass. I remember the very first master study I did was a Mike Zeck master study, and there's one panel where he's in jail, and there's one panel where he's sitting underneath the bed, and the way that Mike Zeck drew it was like there's these perspective lines at the bottom of the bed, like leading your eye in a certain direction. And perspective's always hard, right? And then to try and match somebody else's perspective is equally as hard. So I remember, and it was my first time doing this on stream, first master study, and so I was kind of obsessing about the particular perspective on those springs, and I kept erasing. And I remember Shanth called me afterwards. We were just chatting, and he was like, I was just gonna say, like, just draw it. Just like stop worrying about the freaking perspective lines. So I was getting caught up a little bit on it. And since then I've tried to give myself a little bit more leeway of like interpretation. But as you can imagine, every piece of a page, and when you're examining it at this level, it's all connected. And when you're off on one little part, it's like, that throws off the positioning on this. And so it can get tricky. Like with tracking these glass shards right now, it's like, it's all how they are in relation or placed in relation to each other. So I'm like, oh, okay, if this glass shard's here, this one's a little lower over here, there's 3 over here, and if one of those is off, then your spatial relation is like totally thrown off. Do I know Bullet Ninja Hagelman? Do I really? Oh man. You have to take a page from Frank Miller's book, Just Be You. You have to take a page from Just Be You. That's what Frank Miller does. That's right. That's right. If I'm doing a study on Frank Miller, I've got to like match the spirit of Frank Miller in how he was drawing this. He wasn't worried. He wasn't worried about how many shards he was drawing. He didn't care. Frank Miller doesn't care. He just attacks the page. Okay, this is going to be fun little corner here. So all these pieces, a little bit of window perspective here. Oh man. I feel like if I get just the bigger pieces, it doesn't matter so much matching all the tiny little ones. I figure some of these when I get to inking, probably like once I lay in the black here, like these black areas, some of these glass shards I'm gonna do with like white ink, white paint. It'll be a lot easier than trying to reverse out of it or draw the negative space around it. Okay, this is blacked out here, blacked out here, blacked out. Sound effects show how Rocky is still a kid at heart, which is great. Okay, I'll take it. I feel like I'm missing something with the ninja guys. Somebody is posing as a ninja. Is that what it is? Is Does an alt account? I don't know. I don't know. There's so much built-in history with a lot of you guys with YouTube and in chats, and that I am just so not. I'm not down with it. I don't know anything. Inside jokes. Oh, okay. Tell me if this is too loud. I forgot. I got the music queued up. Always a crapshoot, but tell me if it's too loud. I wish what I heard in my ears is what you guys hear, but it's not. So I can't ever tell if the volume is too loud. And honestly, if it's too loud, there's nothing I can do about it. I can turn it off because I'm at the lowest volume that I can adjust on my side. It's really weird the way that this the way that Ecamm, which is the software I use to stream, has stuff routed. It's kind of, it's weird. So what I watch like on YouTube, or like if I'm screen sharing something, it has a different volume control than like things that are uploaded as sound effects. This is all behind the scenes stuff you guys really don't need to worry about. But anyway, it doesn't make volume control the easiest, or at least I haven't found a way to make volume control the easiest. And so sometimes when I play a sound effect or play a movie or something, it's a different volume than what I'm hearing in my ears live. And then I go back and watch and I'm like, oh my gosh, that was so loud. My voice is still a little louder, so it's good. Okay, thanks, Mark. Good level. Thank you. Ryan doodling and noodling with Rocky. Took me a moment to know who Pasta Master was too. Yeah, see, all these kind of things. This is... it's another way that I feel old. Like, what? Huh? Yeah, the other thing that's nice about using this pencil is as I sharpen the lead, I keep sharpening the lead, the length, this is one thing that was bothering me with the color erases, the length of the pencil never changes because it's the lead that's getting sharpened and shorter, not the pencil itself. But with color erase or any standard pencil, it's like it starts getting smaller and smaller. I remember at one studio I was at, I would keep all the like tiny nubbins of pencils. You'd see after a project was done or a job was done, like how many pencils you went through. This will be the first time that I'm including hand-drawn sound effects in this too, which is cool. I think all the other pages I did the master study on, I don't think any of them had hand-drawn sound effects. I think they were all just dialogue bubbles, which I didn't include in the finals. Mighty Geek Studio says, I found that using screen tones can give you an idea of what the piece will look like when colored. Yep. Yeah, it's like kind of instantly sets your values in, so you can see like foreground, middle ground, background stuff. Yeah, I totally see the value in those. I have seen two people, maybe well, let's see. I don't know if I'll get to that point yet, but I've seen people have like a little swatch of sandpaper, and then they'll just sharpen these kind of leads too. I just remembered that. It sets the tone, as it were. If you really want a master study challenge, the first 5 pages of Green Arrow Year 1. Green Arrow Year 1. Who is the artist on that, Mighty Geek Studios? Green Arrow Year 1. That sounds amazing. Was it? It wasn't Neil Adams, was it? Am I thinking the wrong series? I'll have to check that out. That sounds awesome. Green Arrow. I never really connected with Green Arrow as a character. I was just like, oh, he's just an archer. I do have the like Neil Adams or reprints of the Neil Adams Green Arrow, Green Lantern stuff, which I got a long time ago and I haven't read them yet or looked at them yet. So I gotta look at those again, which reminds me. Okay, so window. But there's some great artwork in that one. Neil Adams is one. That would be one to consider doing a master study of. That's a little daunting. There's certain artists where you look at and you're like, oh yeah, I could do that style. And Neil Adams is not one of them for me. Like, how does that dude draw like that? His stuff was always so like anatomically like, oh my gosh, I can't, my brain doesn't work like that. Cool thin crack lines. Crash. Not crash, mind you. This is a crash. Man, me K boy. Man, this is really good. I picked up sketching first with red pencil from a cartoonist. Nice. Thank you, me K boy. Nice seeing you. Several cartoonists use red and blue pencils for sketching. Yeah, I'm going to for sure buy the red lead for this pencil too, because I love drawing in red. Red and blue are pretty much my go-to colors when it comes to sketching like this. I've gone into this, like, people have asked the questions, why are you drawing in these colored pencils? And the reasoning is it's great for rough sketching, because when you draw with standard graphite lead, it can get like dark and overworked really fast, and these softer LEDs that are in color help to like give you a chance to build up the image or the picture. It's also like a weird emotional thing. Like drawing in different colors. Sometimes when I'm drawing in one color, it just doesn't come out the way that I like it to, so I'll switch to another color. And so yeah, that's sometimes the previous master studies I've done, the pages will look like big bruises because I've switched from different colors to colors depending on my mood. But yeah, usually my go-tos are blue and red. And they initially... The other reason why the colors, people sketch in color, one of the common colors that is drawn in is non-photo blue, and that was back in when the reproduction process, where they would do like a photostat or a copy of the page. The particular blue color that they would draw in would not be reproduced on a copier machine or in printing. So you can do your like rough sketching in blue, and then you do the hard dark graphite line, and you wouldn't get all that rough business in there. So that's another reason why people used color. And this blue that I'm drawing in is darker than a traditional non-photo blue color. Let me see if I have a pencil that's a non-photo blue color. It's a lighter color than this. So then what I'll do is, when I'm done with this page and I scan it in, I actually have a setting that translates it all into non-photo blue. This is a traditional non-photo blue pencil, and you can see the blue. I don't know if you can pick that up in the image, but it's a lot lighter than this blue. So me drawing in these colors is less about this is the non-photo blue, is less about the reproduction, because I know I'm going to scan it in and adjust it anyway, and it's more just for the softness of the pencil, the building up of the pencils underneath. Crash. Wait, one, here. So this is the line that is black. This will be black, and then this will be black. This will be black, and then I have some lines here. 1, 2, 3. We'll figure that out in inking. Boom. This is all blackened in. Let me see how this was treated in the original. See here, there's like it looks like a screen tone. Which I don't think I'm going to do screen tones, even though we just had that conversation. Yeah, this is an example of screen tones used right here. It's kind of cool. This is a farther spread out, but can you see how this screen tone is like a gradation or a lighter than this one? So it's so cool that they would print out sheets that had like different spacing, or would have a gradation from one, like from a lighter to darker, and then you can choose that spot on the sticker sheet and then cut it out and use it. It's awesome. Let me find this Oh yeah, here. So, yep, looks like they use the screen tone from here to here. And then did they go lighter again at the top? Weird. I don't know if you guys can pick up on it, but it's not like it goes to full black here. It goes to like it's like a dark gray, black, and then a lighter gray gradation down here. What to do? What am I gonna do? Am I gonna just black that out? Wow, I gotta think about this, because this is gonna be black. This is black. Oops, you guys can't even see that. So this is black behind Electra's head. This is black. Black. Hair. But then, so if I decided to make this all black, then I'll lose all these nice thick thin lines. I might just leave this white behind here. Unless I'm gonna have to do a screen tone. What the? I'll have to decide. Dang it. Why? Complicated. Okay, let me mark this page. Just put this bookmark here just so I don't lose it. Decisions. All right, I think I'm done with this panel though. Oh no, I'm not. I still have the bricks. Ouch. Mighty Geek Studio says Jock. What? Oh, is that the green? Oh, Green Arrow Year 1. Mike Grell, yeah, I know Mike Grell's done Green Arrow too. I have not seen Green Arrow Year 1. All right, I'll have to check that out. Jock is an artist. I think, he's done some cool stuff. I like his pinup cover work more than I like his sequential work. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because he just oozes a certain style, and for me, it works better in his, like for a single image or a pinup splash page or whatever, than sequential art. But he's great. I know he's very popular. We were talking about Distillery a stream or so ago, and he's part of that Distillery group and has done a story there, but I didn't pick it up. Okay, I'm not feeling this song. Skip. The whiteout scenes were incredible. It helps me get my bases down, then I can sketch over them. Yeah, there you go. That's exactly why we use the color. I mean, I could take this another step and like tighten this up using a graphite pencil, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm already going so tight in this color pencil. Honestly, at the end of the day, it's like whatever works for you. Whatever gets the job done. Whatever helps you hit the finish line. I know there's tons of streams and videos on people talking about the materials they use, and I'm guilty of watching all of those, not just for art, but for like tech stuff and camera setups and streaming setup. Like I watch all that, and at the end of the day, it's really what works for you, what makes your life easier, or helps you accomplish the goal that you're trying to accomplish. It's not the tool necessarily that will get you there, but there are tools that help that process. So like, for example, me finding this pencil, I really am digging it, and will probably be using it from here on out as opposed to the standard color erase pencils, just because it's working so well. But as a bunch of you guys know, following me on the other master studies, like I have switched up different inking tools depending on who I'm studying, because sometimes a brush works better on a certain style, certain look. Sometimes the pen nib, sometimes a technical pen. So it all just whatever it takes to get you there. Crash. All right, cool. I think I'm done with this one panel. I'll still figure out what I'm going to be doing up here. I'm hesitating, thinking I'm just going to black it out behind Daredevil because I don't want to lose the brush work here or the ink work here, the like beautiful thick thin here. Like if this was all black, this would just bleed. I mean, it would be cool, but you'll miss this beautiful like thick thin in the borderline. So I'm either gonna leave it white or toy with the idea of using a screen tone because you guys said it. Oh, here's a shard of glass I missed. So we'll see. Maybe I'll take a trip to the art store and see what I can find on the screen tones. That's another fun thing with doing this on YouTube. All these ideas that come from the chat. I mean, one of the books I've been staring at a lot recently, one of my favorite indie books of all time is The Crow. He uses a lot of cross-hatching for his tones, but I could have sworn he uses screen tones in here too. This is splattering. That's a cool effect. I'm pretty sure, yeah. Like this is screen tone on the for the gray of the floorboards here. That's definitely screen tone there. But I could do something like that. I could do like a crazy cross hatching, but that seems risky to try and do that behind that Daredevil. But that sets up a gray tone too. Here's some screen tone here. Yeah, there's a graded screen tone right there. That looks so cool. That's such a cool look. On his face too. Then he goes back out and whites some stuff. That's a really cool look. All right, we'll see. We'll see, guys. We'll see. Right, so this one's good. Good. Let me just tighten up this blade, then I'll move over to these figures on the right side, this rightmost panel here. Tighten up these guys a little bit. How are we doing on time? Not too bad. The guidelines on your artboards are non-photo blue. Yes, they are. They actually are a little darker than... I mean, they're supposed to be non-photo blue, but they feel a little darker. It's a Letraset screen tones. Yes, I've seen that. Screen tone was a substitute for black in some cases. Oh, Cranberry Lanterns is back. What is up, Cranberry? Leaving in less than 10 minutes again? Okay. In and out. A lot of useful videos out there. Check the position of the caption boxes. The caption boxes. Which caption boxes? Piece is coming along great. See everybody. These aren't super detailed figures, but there is some details that I need to add in here. And rightly so. Like, the whole purpose of drawing these multiple figures, which I love it because it's such a comic book language thing of showing motion and different positions. But yeah, the purpose is just to capture the motion of Daredevil jumping down onto the street lamp. So you don't want to bog it down with too many details, but just enough so you can pick out that it's him. Yeah, it doesn't bother with like the face, really. It just gives you like the mask line, the eyeball, and you get it. Belt line. Comrade Sammy's back. The chat ninja is off the hook. You're not getting rid of me until this stream ends. The position the position of the caption boxes and dialogue balloons explains the weird spaces in the art. There are none on this page. It was, yeah, this is it. There were no caption boxes on this particular page. And then in the other pages that I've done master studies, because it is, like what you're saying, Mighty Geek Studios is a huge part of the page, is those dialogue boxes and the placement of it. I would just put in, I wouldn't write in the lettering, but I would draw in the boxes and the word balloons because, yeah, it would help balance out the page, or it was a part of the composition. So I think a lot of people overlook how much lettering can or should be incorporated in part of the creation and the planning of the page. It's not an afterthought. It's not like, oh yeah, the letter is going to fit it. And sometimes you can tell when they approach a page that way. But when it's really unified, whether it's however the process goes, whether it's the artist indicating, excuse me, indicating to the letterer this is where the word balloons need to go, or the artist is doing the lettering themselves, it all has to work. I just watched this great interview with Robert Rodriguez, who is a filmmaker, one of my favorite independent, I mean, he's a Hollywood filmmaker, but he's one of my favorite just filmmakers because I don't like all of his films. I just love his mentality and who he is as a director. So he directed El Mariachi and the Spy Kids movies and Desperado, Sin City, huge like comic book nerd as well, but just a great like independent filmmaker, rebellious thinker outside of the Hollywood system. And just watched this great recent interview with him talking about how he made El Mariachi. He wrote a book called Rebel Without a Crew, which I have. And I think he just recently recorded the audiobook for this book. Great book. Highly recommend reading it. And it talks about how he made the film for $7,000. This was before he was discovered, but this was the film that got him discovered. And he just had all these like limitations. He didn't have any money. All his equipment had these limitations. He didn't know what he was doing. But through that process and throughout his whole career, he just learned and did everything. Not only was he the director, but he was like the camera person, the DP, the editor, the production designer, the composer, because he had no other choice. He had to do it all. But that whole process of doing it all empowered him to become a better director because he knew every step of the process and he knew how to do it. And like one of the examples he was saying is when he was working with the actors on Sin City, a lot of that was done on green screen, and which is a really difficult thing to act in front of when you're just, there's no set. It's just green screen and you just have to imagine it. But he wasn't just the director, he was also the camera person, so he'd be right there behind the camera talking to the actors and saying, okay, it's just you and me, and he kind of created this rapport with them. And he said oftentimes you'll have directors on these big budget effects heavy movies and they're like sitting way back in their director's tent communicating to the camera person, communicating to the lighting people on a mic, and they're just so detached from the set or from the production, and that's all they knew. And then you'd see movies like that would be horribly put together and waste a lot of money because whoever was shooting the movie was just shooting it, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm just the camera person, and I just got to shoot this. That's my job. But they weren't thinking like an editor would think. And so the editor would look at the footage and they're like, oh, you missed that. And they'd have to go back and shoot it and set up all this kind of stuff. And he said because he knew all the steps of the process, he could be so efficient and know exactly what he needed. And it went back to his roots of making this film for $7,000. He didn't have the luxury to shoot over and over again. He would just do it in one take. And he would edit a lot of it in camera because he didn't have an editing bay or an editing budget. So all these like shortcuts he took. But I bring all that up to loop that back to this of like, if you're just drawing and you're not thinking of how the word bubbles, the captions, the lettering is all affecting the page, that stuff is going to look tacked on. It could like distract. It could lead your eye in the wrong direction and could go counter to what you're trying to do in your artwork. But if you are doing it all, or you know how you should be thinking, or you're very particular about the flow of your page, that all stuff has to be accounted for and you know, planned out in unison with the cool artwork and the cool designs. Like where you put the word bubbles are huge part of the storytelling process. Wow, these I can tell these action line streaks are gonna be something when I get into inking them. There's gonna be a lot of whiteout figuring out this stuff. Okay, yeah. Where's Emo at? Comrade Sammy says. Yeah, where is she? She's gonna come in here mad. She's watching Nosferatu. Oh, the new one? I haven't watched that yet. I heard it was crazy and very good. So I do want to see it whenever it becomes available for free on streaming. I can't wait to see that. Tell her to hurry up. We don't have all day to be nuisance to Rockies. That's right. She wants to get in the pot shot. Limited time. I'm personally too much of a coffee snob for instant coffee. I need fancy homemade coffee. One of those. I can do both. But instant coffee for me is like... they have these 3-in-1 packets. It's really common in like Asian grocery stores. You can get 3-in-1 packets, and there's a particular brand that I like. It's a 3-in-1 coffee that I like, and I'll do that on occasion. Or I'll do Nespresso. We have a small Nespresso machine. Or I'll go out and get my fancy coffee too sometimes. If you guys ever visit this city, San Francisco, they have a coffee, coffee store, company store out here called Andytown, and I love their coffee. And they do this drink. It's called the Snowy Plover. Weird name, I know. I think it's based off of a bird. I think that's what a snowy plover is, or a plover is at least. It's a type of bird. But it's a double shot of espresso and their blend of coffee. They make their own beans and all that. And a double shot, and they do that with a sparkling water, like a Pellegrino water or whatever. And then it's a ice drink. And then they have their own homemade whipped cream that they add on top of it, and then you mix it together. Oh my gosh, it is my favorite coffee drink. I could drink that all the time. So yeah, if you're ever in the area, go get a snowy plover. But some people don't like the sparkling water aspect of it. But the key is their whipped cream. Their whipped cream is So yummy. I should get them to be a sponsor. That would be awesome. Can I get them to be a sponsor for my channel? And then I can get free coffee and bring it up. That would be so cool. All right. Oof. Yeah, these action lines will be, there's going to be a whole nother level of figuring it out when it gets to inking. Tang. What is the best in the chat? Those of you in the chat, what is the best sound effect? Comic sound effect that you have read or saw? Heard? Not really heard. I'm gonna go with Krakathoom is one of my favorite. Thor's lightning strike, Krakathoom. That is a pretty awesome sound effect. Applicable in many occasions, Krakathoom. We have two sound effects on this page. Ka-tang and crash. 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 Yeah, I guess crash works. I do like the ka-tang. Ka-tang. No exclamation mark, too. Conscious decision there. This is going to be all sorts of like hatching business here that we'll figure out. Come inking. Let's see. Mark's Music Obsession says, coffee all day, every day, Comrade Sammy. Good coffee, of course. Coffee press as a backup. Run long enough for Emo to get in here. Okay, we'll see. We'll see how we go. We're going to finish up. I'm almost done with this page, this panel, and then we got the last panel. We'll see. We'll see if she shows up. So you have a French press. Go make yourself some coffee. Comrade Sammy. Coffee, coffee, coffee. So yeah, best sound effect, comic sound effect you've heard. Or best coffee. I'm also all ears. Krakathoom is one of my favorite comic sound effects. I know Eric Larson, who did Savage Dragon, he had some good sound effects. I'll have to open that up, see what he does. What about those pre-made bottled coffees? Never really had them, but know they exist. Yeah. Some of them. I like a... I mean, this might be blasphemous to somebody, but I like a bottled Starbucks Frappuccino. Those are pretty good. In a pinch. I've seen all sorts of, like, Blue Bottle Coffee has bottled iced coffee. They've got some good Thai or Vietnamese coffee in a bottle. That's I love a good Vietnamese coffee. Okay. Tang. All right. I think we're done with the Katang panel. All right. Emo better hurry up. We got last panel here, and there's just going to be some steps. Comrade Sammy's not a big fan. Drink them occasionally, but not a lot. Did Rocky respond to your admonition to stream until Emo's arrival? I'm trying. Rocky said we'll see if he streams that long. Can you believe that guy? I'm telling you, I'm almost done. Just got some steps to tighten up here. Then I'll do the border panels, and then we'll be done. Apparently, Nosferatu is too good of a movie than to come in here and like harass. I told you you had to stream until Emo gets here, sir. You have no other options. That's right, Rocky. Listen to Chat Ninja, no other options. We'll figure out something else to do until she gets here. Oh my gosh. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not beyond reason. This is black, black. One, two, three. Can't wait for this one to be blacked in with the shadows. It's gonna look good. These stairs. Let's see. We'll figure out something else to go. It is a good move. Shanth and Jetty are. What's up, Shanth? Not surprisingly, Shanth has seen Nosferatu. Yeah, I gotta watch that. It looks, beyond just the story, the filmmaking looks pretty incredible. So I'm curious. I heard it's not for the weak of heart, but it looks really interesting. So this is all black. is black. And then this is black. We got this line for the crosshatching, which kind of blends into, that'll be interesting to figure out too, blends into the black shadows. And then this is black. Just gonna go this. All right. Don't you have comics to unbox or something? Get like 1 billion of them every week. That's for tomorrow. For Wednesday. I don't even know what books. I think I know there will be books I'm picking up tomorrow. I saw some hints of what might be coming out, so yes, there will be books to come out tomorrow. But so I'm not gonna open anything new here. Oh, I can look at a couple things though. We'll buy emo trash sometime. John says, hello, Shantha and Jetty Art. Any notion on Pizza Live this week? Yes, The Hands of Orlac, 1924. Wow, I don't even know what that is. That sounds amazing. The Hands of Orlac. Huh. All right, I'm gonna do it in purple. I'm gonna do my borders in a different color just because we got so much blue on this page. But this is it. No, I can look at some stuff. If we want to buy emo sometime, let's see, what time is it? I have some time on my end. If we want to buy emo sometime, I can look at some things. But let me finish up with these borders. That's one. The Hands of Warlock. Okay, so check out Pizza Live on Shant's stream Thursday night on Shant's channel, Shantha and Jetty Art. Pizza Live this week, John and Sort of. Rocky says he's on the last panel. John's still 15 minutes out. Knock it off, Rocky. You'll get whatever a chat equivalent of a tongue lashing is from emo if you... That's frightening. All right, let me get my long ruler. Oh, wait, I can use this ruler. Buy emo a little bit more time. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah. See, even my music ended. Okay. Ka-tang. Mark has not been able to get into his boat. Not in the last couple of weeks. Was traveling last week. Had been really windy prior to that. Hopefully this week, John. Oh, funny. This is a long border. Spring Ball, who cares if you already ordered it? Go ahead and get 3 or 4 more. Shant just recently posted, I guess there was an eBay link, Shant, of somebody selling their original copy of Spring Ball #1, which I was like, I got mine, dang it. I ain't letting that go. I actually have a few copies, ha ha ha, of Spring Ball #1. I'm not letting that go. Those are collector's items now as far as I'm concerned. All right, here's the last line, guys. The last panel line. There we go. Finished. Let me just make sure I have all my glass shards. Gonna figure, I guess I could tighten this up a little bit. This will be a white paint special. Shant, if you had to pick a favorite comic sound effect, what would it be? Would it be from Spring Ball? Sproing! I bet there'll be some good sound effects, comic sound effects at Spring Ball. Okay. Bot emo sometime. Rocky's trying to convince me unboxings are for Wednesday. I told him I don't care. He needs to open them now. No, I haven't bought the comic. I don't have anything to unbox. And I haven't bought the comics for tomorrow yet. But I can look at a couple things that I brought up at the beginning of the stream just to buy more time. Headless Bourgeoisie. Hail, young Jamie. I mean, Shanthan Jetty Art. What's up, Headless Bourgeoisie? It is My Random Comics. You can do whatever, John says. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're coming in here at the end. We've just finished the pencils, Headless Bourgeoisie. Just finished the pencils for this Frank Miller Electra Saga page that we're taking through the whole master study process. I really like the pencils on this page and how they turned out. One of my favorite pencil pages as I'm looking at all the pencil pages I have done in the past. This one's a fun one. So yeah, now that we are done with this process or done with these pencils, we will be taking it to the inking stage coming up here. So the process is I will take this in, I will scan it in, and then do a little bit of a Photoshop adjustment to make the pencils more of a non-photo blue lighter color on the page. And then I'll print that out on a nice clean piece of Bristol. And then we'll go through the whole inking stage for this page. I will more than likely be using the Winsor Newton brush again on this page, but there are some spots where I think I can use pen nib to get a nice crisp, especially in this like cross-hatching stuff. That looks like it would be a great for pen nib, and also these there's a lot of like thin, pretty swift motion lines that would be probably better to use the nib. So maybe this will be a combo nib brush page. Yeah, for sure. As I'm looking at it here. And I'll live stream all that stuff too. So, but yeah, this finishes up the penciling part of the process. There we go. Katang Crush. If you haven't already, please subscribe and like to this channel. Let's see. I'll keep going with the chat to give our friend Emo, some more time to see if she pops her head in. It is funny seeing Rocky respond to my previous messages. Good day, Jeffrey Beats.
10% bogan, 50% bogan, 100% bogan.
He's a 2% bogan here today. Good morning from sunny Minjin. What's up, Jeffrey Beats? Mark's Music Obsession says, I have my original Spring Ball set. Not for sale. No, sir. 4 minutes out, John is. Drove to my sister's, John. 7 hours. Would fly a farther. That's about my limit these days in one day. 7 hours driving. That's like here to LA. I'd do that on occasion, but yeah, that's a long drive. Especially if you're soloing it. Unless you're driving with other people, but if you're soloing it, that can be pretty long. I like I've done drives by myself. It's like 4-ish hours, and that's fine. That works out well. But 7 hours, lots of dive sites near Mark's place, which is awesome. Should we all shout for Emo to get here? You don't have any comics to unbox? I don't. I mean, I have my own. I don't have anything new. I go to the comic book stores on Wednesday. I haven't gotten anything in the mail. I did see something. I did see something get shipped, but I don't think it's coming yet, or not in time for me to unbox it right now. Let me look. I'm gonna look at my See if there's a package at my doorstep. Nope. No package at my doorstep. You could pull out those beady. You guys are so desperate. John is caught up now. Okay, caught up. Gorgeous work. Miller is my favorite. With Keith Giffen as a very close second. Wow. That's awesome. Yeah, Keith Giffen he's known for being a great layout artist too. And I've seen him do layouts for a lot of people. That they would hire him to just do the layouts and then they'd have somebody else finish on top of them. But yeah, that's great. Yeah, Miller's one of my favorites too. Definitely in the top. 7 hours driving leaves me numbed out. Yeah, I don't know if my back could do 7 hours driving. Mark's Music Obsession says, I still have dibs on the Mobius red and blue pencil sketch if it becomes available. Okay, Mark. Got you. That one's a red, blue, and purple. Right here. This is what Mark's talking about. For those of you who don't know, you can go watch the previous streams, Master Study stream of this Mobius Master Study. This is the pencil, how the pencils ended up on this one. And the inks ended up on this one. So this is what, at the end. This one was inked with a nib. I'm buying emo time. Look at this. Look how generous I am. Look at that. Way back in November 22nd was when we finished it. That turned out great. So I see I like having both the pencils and the inks at the end of the day. It's really fun to look at them both. If I didn't, and I did it the way that other people do, they ink straight on the pencils and they erase the pencils off of it. I never understood that. Jeffrey Beat says, I've been reading Nightwing by Tom Taylor. Oh, okay. I'm not a huge Nightwing fan, but I've heard some good things. That's a character that I'd be interested in reading more. So by Tom Taylor. Okay. Gotcha. You always have a comic of yours you want to show. Okay, I'll pull out something. Jeffrey Beat says he's buying Hush 2. Oh yeah, the new one's coming out. I'm going to flip through it, see if I like it. If you guys don't, if you remember, I bought the giant-sized Hush 2 for the first issue of Hush 2. I heard a rumor they were doing that giant size for each issue. I don't think I have the money to plunk down a giant size each time. I don't know. We'll see tomorrow if I run into it. I accidentally run into it and buy it. But I did see that Hush 2, the next issue of Hush 2 is coming out. So I'll flip through it and see if I like it or if I'll wait for the trade. He did not just call us desperate. How long is Nosferatu? I love to finish on... Oh, Jay Ryan. That movie is full on horror, I hear. The movie posters are great. I haven't seen... I didn't see that other film that director did. I believe he did the film The Lighthouse. I have not seen that film. All right, let me get something to look at. Wait, let me catch up on the chat, and then I'll get something to look at to buy a little bit more time. Pencil and ink would need to be a set then. I'll start the bidding. Always love a good boat ride. Just being on the water is great. Never took to fishing. Magnet fishing sounds cool, though. I don't see any emo yet. Okay, I'll get something to look at. I was talking about two things I'll get. One was, I guess at this camera angle, yeah. Okay. We'll get something. All right, 1 second. Okay. This is fun. Jeez. Can I get this wider out? Okay, hang on a second, guys. I'm going to try and adjust my camera to give a wider view. It takes a little bit of adjustment, but 1 second. Okay, I got a little bit wider. You guys see that? So, what was that? Something just dropped. Art in Times of J. Ryan says, what? That's what Finnish artists do. Stop making it dirty, Rocky. Oh, man. Jeffrey Beat says, Mark, what is your music obsession? Okay. This is the artist edition, or they call it the Vault edition for Savage Dragon. This is awesome. They're doing it for Youngblood coming up here. This is kind of Image's version of an Image Comics version of an artist edition. They call it a Vault edition. So they did this for Savage Dragon. And the reason I pulled this out was, I believe it was, however we got in the discussion of sound effects. Eric Larson always has cool sound effects. Badoom! That's a good one. But this is hand-lettered on the page back in the day. And it's so cool in this Vault edition to see that hand lettering. I mean, you can even see the, like, whiteout. And I believe the letterer was Chris Eliopoulos. Yeah. Chris Eliopoulos. Eliopoulos, I think is how you pronounce it. And he's great. He was one of the OGs of the Image stuff. And it did some awesome hand lettering here. But look at these sound effects here. Crack. Quack. Wood. Super fun. And I always find that Eric Larson stuff, probably because of Chris Eliopoulos, had some awesome sound effects. So much part of the artwork. Because he just crashed through a ceiling. I do find the line height or the letter height of his lettering, of Chris Eliopoulos' lettering, a little tall. Sometimes it's hard to read. But this is awesome. Thok is a good one. Thok, 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 thok. Yeah, this is fun stuff. Fun lettering additions to the comic book. This is Super Patriot. Click, clack. It was like the clack of his gears. This is fun. Overlapping it that way. Click, 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 click. Again, it's like Super Patriot's like transforming a little bit. Oops. Did a different font for this S. Scrackak. Scrackak. This one, Scrackaboosh. Really fun. Such an art form to it. Now with computer lettering, I mean, you could still do it, but there's something, you really have to be skilled and masterful to incorporate it into the art. Sometimes they'll cut it out and place it on, but it's so nice to see it incorporated into the art, the actual page. This is a good one. Whack, wham, what? It's cool. It's like it like leads you up here on the page, drops you down. I think this is a homage to Krakathum. This is Brakathrum. Brakathrum. Yeah, great sound effects. There's another one, another homage. Krakaboom. Wow. Wham. Beautiful. That's really great. Okay. So that's examples of some fun comic lettering there. Jeffrey Beats says, last night I made a list of all my X-Men comics. I have heaps of, but in the wider scheme of things, I need a lot more to complete my collection. That's Letraset lettering in that baboom. Oh yeah, press-on letters. Nice. Yeah. We were just talking about Letraset screen tones. Jeffrey, I'm a giant music fan of multiple genres and have a huge library of music and tons of equipment. Been a big fan since I was a kid. Savage Dragon is fun. Yeah, it's just all out fun. I mean, I don't like Savage Dragon. I love the very early Savage Dragon, like this Vault Edition is. That was the best Savage Dragon in my mind, or the best era of Savage Dragon. And then on top of that is this was my favorite version of Savage Dragon of all time, was Savage Dragon, or they called it Dragon Blood and Guts, which was Jason Pearson, the guy who did Body Bags, who one of my favorite comic artists of all time. This was an amazing rendition of Dragon, and just the coolest looking dragon too. But yeah, I'd say that Eric Larson's earlier Savage Dragon was just pure out fun, comics fun. Now it's just weird. There's like so many weird stories. I don't even know. Yeah, I've never really kept up with it because the stories just got too crazy and weird and bizarre, and I don't even know what's going on anymore with Savage Dragon. Mark also plays a little bass. Comparing myself to musical heroes just means I can't play at all. I don't know any of these references. Okay, I got one more thing to show, and if Emo's Trash doesn't come on, it's not my fault. I was talking about Kevin Nolan as an inker, as a distinct inker, and as a really skilled inker and letterer. And this is a beautiful way of seeing it, this artist edition of Kevin Nolan's work. Let me try and find a good example of, I mean, all these are good examples of his inking, but this is some of his earlier work. This is stunning. So you can tell he uses a nib for a lot of this cross-hatching here. But look at his beautiful sense of lighting and drama in Kevin Nolan's work. It's just like a clean ink line, but really good sense of lighting. You'll see that in all of his work. Like this treatment of this like core shadow, this interior shadow, is bananas good. And the way he draws hands, holy moly. Hands and faces. He's got this distinct Kevin Nolan face. Love his use of cross-hatching. I'm not great at cross-hatching by any stretch of the imagination, but Kevin Nolan as an inker cross-hatching, oh my gosh. Okay, this is cool. Let me move this out of the way. You can see the comparison of the pencils and the inks here. So this is a beautiful example of, I mean, he is his own penciler here, but a beautiful example of what he adds when he goes into inking. I mean, it's all there, but there's also all the like little touches that he does as an inker, and just the confidence and the skill level of the way that he inks. Jeffrey Beach says, do you think that Hush 2 ending the Batman universe means that something huge event-wise happens at the end of the story? Is that what's happening? Is it ending the Batman universe? I didn't even know that. That sounds like something big is happening. I wouldn't be surprised. Not only was Kevin Nolan a great inker, but he's an amazing painter. Let's see if there's... I'm sure there's... Look at that. Look at that Hawkeye. Dang. And let me see if I can find more examples of like pencils to inks. Pretty sure they have it in here. Yeah. Look at that. Incredible. Look at these hands. So good. So alive. Look at that hand. Jeffrey Beats says, I need your book collection. I take that as a compliment. You don't want my credit card bill, though. But my book collection, yes. I just added Making Faces to my library, John. Oh, you guys talking about music? Singer of Mudvayne joined Vinnie Paul to start. They restart Batman after the end of Hush 2. Oh, okay. Wow, I did not know that. I don't know. That's a good question. If, yeah. It sounds like I wouldn't be surprised if some sort of event is going to happen. Okay, let me find some more pencils to ink. Oh, gosh, look at this. Look at this Valkyrie. Stunning. It's so, like, perfect. Oh, wow. This is Joe Quesada pencils on a Daredevil story with Kevin Nolan inks. And they paired up before on Batman Azrael, which is some of Quesada's best work. This is later Quesada work, though, I can tell. It's more realistic. Let me see if I can find more. Oh, look at this. Use of screen tone. Right here. Nice. Is that a sign? This is earlier Nolan stuff. Oh, this is a great New Mutant story. He had these really distinct faces. Some people hated it when it first came out, but I always loved it. I always loved his style. I'm just trying to find... Oh, this is a total pencil to ink comparison. Look at that. It's great. My gosh. Look, he even, and Nolan also lettered his own stuff, and he's an amazing, look at his handwriting. Look how amazing his lettering is. So you can see that he was saying computer lettering. He was like hand lettering it, lining it up. I know there's a certain tool that letterers use that give you that even spacing for lettering. I've never used that before. was great. If you like Kevin Nolan's work, this book is worth getting. Just pure comic art. And he's masterful. He's one of those few guys that can draw, ink, letter, tell story, like, comic storytelling. Could be a great storyteller. He's the whole 9 yards. Going back to that conversation we were talking about with Robert Rodriguez saying, how he learned all aspects of filmmaking. Kevin Nolan's one of those auteurs that knows all aspects of comic book making. So inspiring. Look at that. Look at that lettering. How he stretched it out there. Wham. That's awesome. And only a person who is doing both the art and the lettering can really get that kind of match. It's awesome. Yeesh. So good. This Marvel Heroes Artist Edition is very nice. It's great. It's really good. Still available out there. You can find it pretty simple. This was a whole Swamp Thing. I'm sorry, not Swamp Thing. Man Thing story that he painted. Whew. Amazing. His color theory is bonkers good. He also did designs on Batman the Animated Series. He just does it all. He's a really nice guy, too. I met him once at a con, and when I went up to his table, I was just I was almost speechless. I was I'm a huge fan of yours. He was amazing, and he was like, you even know who I am? And I was like, are you kidding me? Of course I know who you are. He's really humble. I mean, the stuff he's doing, you guys can see it. I think you can see it. The subtlety in this painting. It's so simple, the shape, but the subtlety that's going on here is, and in the anatomy and the musculature, the lighting. Ugh. Wordless storytelling. Great. Or I think maybe because the lettering's not on here. But still, you can see what's going on. You kind of follow what's going on. Oh, gosh, it's good. Nobody draws hands better than Kevin Nolan. And then more ink work here. This is an X-Men story he did. Doctor Strange story. Lives in Kansas. No kidding. There you go. Kevin Nolan's Marvel Heroes Artist Edition. If you love his work, it's worth it. Worth all the monies. Okay. E-Gauge does consistent letter spacing. Is that the tool? Is that the little tool? I've seen it. It's like a tool and it has the lines that you measure out. Is that what an E-Gauge is? Jeffrey Beat says, I haven't seen one in years. Nice, great stall, Rocky. You're slacking on the distractions. I don't know if anything else. That's it. That's all I got. We finished the page. I've already had people here for 3 hours. 3+ hours. I don't got anything anymore. Emo trash. We gave you... Oh, whoops. I flipped. Nope. Wrong window. This one. There we go. We gave you multiple chances, Emo, to get in here. What are we going to do? What are you going to do? So here we go, guys. Finished up the pencils on Frank Miller's master study. Looking awesome. This is a great page. Cannot wait to get to the inking. It's gonna be a good one. And I think, like, yeah, as I look at these pencil pages that I've done, this one is one of my favorites for sure. Maybe it's the tool, maybe it's the page, I don't know, but it turned out cool. That mouth looks a little bit like he's smiling, and it shouldn't. Is that how it looks? I doubt Daredevil is smiling in that page. Oh, I see what I did. I see what I did. All right, I'll adjust it. I'll make sure it doesn't look like a smile. Okay. That's all I got. See, John says that's okay. Emo had her warning and chance. You done good. John says I'm okay. I feel like I'm like on my deathbed. John's like, it's okay, Rocky. You can let go now. But Comrade Sammy's like, wait, what? Yeah, E-gauge is like a metal ruler that shifts. Okay, that's what I've seen that. I already said you have to wait till Emo gets here. Wait, John, you're changing on me now. Mark's Music Session says, nice one, Rocky. That's for the stream. Thank you, Mark. Thank you so much. I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't know what to tell you. I did. Oh, we're not shooting the fat. I did what I could. I held out as long as I could. But I do have to get lunch. I have to get some lunch. Got to catch up with the rest of the day. I'm sure I've got some things backed up now that I've been here for 3+ hours. But it was so awesome finishing this up with you guys. I'm so glad we got to do that this week. That means next week we will be starting the inking stage of this page. Frank Miller, Electra Saga. Amazing. So stay tuned for that. Tomorrow is Wednesday. So barring any kind of disasters or distractions or emergencies, we'll be doing My Wednesday Comics tomorrow. So maybe Emo Trash can show up, could grace us with her presence in that one. Just kidding, Emo, if you're watching this later. We missed you. But yeah, hopefully I would love it if you guys could join me for tomorrow's show, because there should be some good stuff coming out. Hush 2, next issue of Hush 2 is one of the ones Jeffrey Beats just mentioned. Whether or not I pick it up, who knows? We'll see. I'm going to decide in the store when I flip through the issue. But there are a couple other things that I saw that were coming out that I will pick up. So we will have some stuff to talk about tomorrow on My Wednesday Comics. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Please hit like on this stream. I appreciate it. We're at 521 subscribers last I checked. We're moving our way up. We're getting to a point where we can build this channel even more, and that all is on contingent of you guys coming and showing up and sharing in the fun. So thank you so much for your support. Please do hit like and subscribe. I will catch you soon. Have a great rest of your day. See you tomorrow for My Wednesday Comics. And yeah, I'm going to go to a baseball game in a couple hours. So see you guys later. Have a good evening. Take care.